Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm just glad you're here. I want to take a quick second and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to all the channel subscribers, and I want to say thank you for anyone who comes in to check out my knife and EDC content. I really do appreciate it. If you're so inclined, if you hit that subscribe button down there and the bell notification icon, it really helps me out. Today, what I was going to go through is 10 knives that have been what I consider to be all very much approved by me, and some of my favorite full-sized, I say full-size, that's not the right term, they're normal-sized or primary carry-sized EDC fixed-blade knives. So these are knives that I can carry as an enhancement to my daily carry, or depending on the situation, I can easily carry this as my primary carry. It's going to be all the knife that I need in a fixed blade. And starting off, we're looking at the little Big Idea Company Lookout. This little Lookout is in M390 with titanium handles. It is going to be on the smaller side in this bunch, but it's still a full 4-finger knife. It's super slicey. Very much just a winner in terms of the size. The other thing that's really, I think, special about this knife, very toothy, is the way that the sheath is designed. So this knife is going to come in, just to give you an idea, right at 6 inches. So the comparison knife that happens to be in my pocket today is my 3.5 J-Cape. So you can see it's much smaller than that, but it's still an inch bigger than what I consider a mini micro knife. This knife ships with 2 Kydex sheaths, a left and a right, and it's got this titanium clip that mounts right in the center of the clip. It screws in there, really ingeniously done, and then that allows this clip to go in your side pocket where your primary carry is, or your back pocket if you're like me, and it mounts the knife deeper carry, and it does not get in the way of deploying the knife. So super cool. This is the Big Idea Company Lookout, and it's definitely one of my top 10s. Another one is going to be the most affordable on the list here, and that is going to be the Vosteed Mink. The Vosteed Mink is just a super thin EDC slicey knife. So if you're like me and you break down cardboard, or you're opening Amazon packages, or you're cutting open cat food or cat treats, or anything else minor, major, whatever you may need to cut. I wouldn't want a baton with this because it's so thin, but it is Nitro V, full tang, micarta handles. This is available in a drop point like this one here, or you can also get it in a sheep's foot. It is around 62 bucks. I think it's a real fair price for a really comfortable, great EDC knife. If I could hold the blade straight, you'll see that it's very slicey too, and also very pokey. So it does have a splinter digger tip. So this little guy is going to be about the size of most of these knives in this little, I guess you'd call it, collection here, because these are going to be knives that I often do carry as a primary carry, especially on weekends when I don't need a folding knife. So this comes in right above 7 inches, which is still going to come in smaller than my McNeese, but you know, it's a good sized fixed blade knife. McNeese for me is kind of a full size knife, or this might be considered a medium sized knife. Full 4-finger grip, does have a lanyard hole, does have these contoured micarta handles, which make it very comfortable in hand. Also has jimping here at the base of the spine, and also up here towards the tip for different grips. Comes with a really nice Kydex sheath. Came with a big tech lock. I put a deep concealment carry clip on it because I prefer those, the way that I pocket carry these. But this will come in kind of at number 8, and there's no big order here. I'm just kind of going through them. But this is the Vosteed Mink at about 62 bucks. So moving on, we come to an Axial Knives Alpine Wharncliffe. So this is a knife that is made in the USA. It is made out of Mag10-Cut, CPM Mag10-Cut. It is extremely comfortable in the hand. It is a great EDC blade. To me, this knife, this size, this shape, this handle, you'll see a very similar design in a couple of other knives, but it's because it's such a functional handle shape. So you've got right around 7 inches here too, right under. So as we know, it's going to be smaller than our, or bigger, yeah, much smaller than our J-Cape. I probably should have a smaller knife in my pocket, but I didn't plan it that way. So good size EDC fixed blade, especially if it's going to be your primary carry. Comes with a Kydex sheath, an ulti-clip. I wear it in my right pocket if I'm carrying it primary. I wear it in my back pocket if I'm carrying it secondary. I can't stress to you guys how much I enjoy having a fixed blade on me when I'm carrying a knife, and how I use it probably 4 times more than the folder. I don't know why that is, but this is the Axial Knives Alpine CPM Mag10-Cut in the Wharncliffe. So moving on, we come to another knife that is similarly shaped, but quite different, and this is probably the most expensive knife in the bunch. This guy comes in right around 300 bucks. I think I got it on sale for around 260. But this is the Boker Solingen Germany AK1 collaboration between Boker and Daily Carry. Feels great in the hand, very comfortable knife. It does have a lanyard tube on the back here. You just have to take the scale off. You flip out this little puzzle piece and it gives you a place to attach a lanyard. This one is made out of RWL 34 and it is made in Solingen, Germany. But I get a perfect 4-finger grip on this. This may be considered a smaller knife to some of the bigger, fuller-handed people, but I can tell you it is absolutely, without doubt, one of my favorites. It is comfortable, it is light, the tang's skeletonized, it's therapeutically slicey, it's got a very thin flat ground blade. I'm a big fan of RWL 34, and it comes with this really nice pocket dropper leather sheath that's made very, very well, has a sewn in or pinned in ulti clip, and has a reverse Tanto tip. Carries deep in my pocket about right here, and I'll either carry it in my right pocket, more often than not in my back pocket. This little guy is going to be a little bit shorter. It is going to come in right under 6 3/4 inches, which again for me is a great size for an EDC fixed blade or an EDC knife, especially in my urban environment. I know a lot of you guys that are in more wildernessy areas probably carry a lot bigger knives. I totally get it. Moving on, we come to another small little knife that is probably the beefiest in terms of hardest working, most tactical in this bunch, and this is my T.Kell Agent 002. It is the Wharncliffe version of the Agent, which has a very thin, slender handle, yet thick enough where I can get a very positive grip. You've got this back angle here that has a little attitude adjuster on the back, but with this forward grip protector, or this forward protector and this back protector, your hand is absolutely locked into this knife. It's not coming out of your hand. It is very much a defensive knife, or could be used as a defensive knife. This is also an ABEL. It is super, super slicey, and it's got probably a 3/4 flat grind from about halfway back the blade here. Nice sharpening choil, very nice jimping. The grip in this knife is Bundabar. It feels great. I mean, it just really being slender yet thick, fits in the hand very, very well. It is a great EDC knife. Comes in right at about 7 1/4 inches, but it's going to be one of those easy to replace your full-size folder, because this knife is thick, this knife is dense, this knife feels like a tool. It's not one of the lighter EDC knives in the group, but it definitely feels like a capable tool. Great retention on the sheath, no rattle whatsoever, and I have it mounted with an ulti-clip, which is the way I like it. Works good. Put it in the pocket, front pocket, or back pocket, depending on your preference. That's the T.Kell Agent 002. So moving on, we come to, and this may be the most expensive knife in the collection, but this is a custom made by Colin Maguire, which is Mag10Knife Worx. The sheath I picked up from Oak City Leather Works. I chose the thread, the deep concealment carry clip, and then the knife is a beautiful Wharncliffe called the EDW. This guy's ABEL. It is super thin, definitely not a prying knife. This is a finesse slicer, I would consider it. It's got a great handle with a lanyard tube. You've got this 80s carbon fiber with a lime green liner. You've got these really aggressive jimps that lead your finger into this harpoon, which just give you so much positive traction on this knife. And when I talk about sharp, it's the sharpest knife in the group, just in overall blade geometry. And then the pokiness, it's ridiculous. It is an absolute splinter digger. It is thin, it is light, it is beautiful. It is handmade in Maine by Colin. I reached out to him when he was coming to the Nashville Blade Show 2 years ago after seeing him at Blade Show in Atlanta. Told him what I was interested in. He actually made this knife. I picked it up when I was there. It is definitely one of my favorites, and I carry it all the time. Very thin blade stock, very much a slicer, but still a great EDC knife, because what I mostly cut is Amazon boxes, cat food, paracord, and the like, right? So that is the Mag10Knife Worx EDW. So moving on, we come to a little knife that is very comfortable, very ergonomic. I don't have any of their folders. This is, I think, their first knife, or maybe their second. This is the Griffin Co 2.5. And the 2.5, I believe that's because it has a 2.5-inch blade. But this knife is very thin, full tang construction. I want to say it's S35VN. It has a carbon fiber scales on it, which are removable if you want to clean it or oil it up. Has a stone washed blade. Very tall, flat ground blade, so it's a great cutter, whether you're working it through lighter materials like paper, or if you've got something thicker like cardboard. I mean, it's going to work through just about any material because the blade geometry is so good. I do a lot of cutting with this, and I carry this knife quite a bit because it is so thin. I also have the Griffin Co Scout Medic. This is the Scout 2.5, and it's just a great size for me. It might be small for some of you because I do have an inside grip here that's kind of cramped, but you do have a lanyard tube here at the end. This little guy comes in right at 6.5 inches, and that tight little inside grip I was telling you about is 3 inches. So I've got a 3.5-inch hand here, yet I can get my 4 fingers in there. I do have a choil that keeps my finger from sliding up on the blade. Works very well, very nimble knife, extremely good sheath retention, so much so that it actually fires like a spring-loaded sheath. Comes out of pocket very easily. Does ship with an ulti clip. I'm a huge fan. This is the Griffin Co Scout 2.5. So moving on, as we get down to it, we come to the economical Boker Ak1. So this is also a Boker Ak1, the same exact profile as the Boker I was showing you earlier. However, this one's in N690. It does not have the reversible lanyard loop. It just is a fixed lanyard loop, where this one you can flip it around. Has a more simple G10 handle, and again, N690 American Tanto over a reverse Tanto in RWL30. But this little guy you can get, and I'll leave a link to it, for right around 160 bucks. It's available on Amazon. Most knife retailers carry it. I picked this one up at Amazon. I was surprised at how inexpensive it was, and it is every bit as slicey and as useful in terms of an EDC knife as the AK1 reverse Tanto, or excuse me, yeah, the reverse Tanto. A Tanto blade does not scare me or bother me at all. I find it very useful depending on what I'm doing with an EDC knife. And with a knife like this, again, it's going to be doing the task that I normally do, which are cutting down things, opening things that the Tanto really helps with. Shows you here that you've got N690. This is also made Boker and Solage in Germany. It's going to be the exact same length, exact same handle configuration as our AK1. Coming in right over 6.5 inches, right between 6.5 and 6 3/4. It ships with this Boker clip, one of the few clips I haven't replaced right out of the gate because it's effective, it works. I don't like the branding on it, but it does keep the knife very secure in pocket. This is a very thin, light EDC knife. I'm a huge fan. I can get all my fingers on it. I don't need to carry another knife if I don't want to. This will handle the task, and it's the AK1 American Tanto. Moving on, we come to the Axial knives, DLC coated Alpine Tanto. So this is a version of the Alpine, not being in titanium. This one is in G10. It's still in CPM Magna-Cut. It's not a Wharncliffe. It is a Tanto. This also comes in a drop point. Very nice sharpening choil. Very thin profile. Very slicey, pokey, stabby blade. This Tanto is going to be a little bit more aggressive than the Tanto that is on the Boker American Tanto. When I say aggressive, a little bit more pointy, but it's still very slicey. Made in the USA in Dallas, Texas. This guy comes in, I think in this configuration, about $239. I think you can get these starting out without the DLC with the micarta handle. First, whoops. No edit, John just lost his mic. No, but you can get these starting out without DLC with G10 or a micarta handle for I think right around $189. So it is a very affordable USA made Magna-Cut fixed blade. I love this knife. This knife feels just a little bit bigger than the Bokers. It's going to come in right between 6.5, 6 3/4, right at 6 3/4. Has a really nice sheath, ships with that ulti clip, very good retention. So guys, there are some wonderful, every one of these knives are going to carry, whoops, I'm not through. I've got one more, that's only 9. We've got my most recent acquisition. This is one I picked up from White Mountain Knives. I did a review on the Meer 1 and Meer 2. I ended up buying the Meer 2. The Meer 2 is a very thin Viper Knives M390 slicer. You can tell how thin that is. You've got a contoured micarta handle, a forward finger choil that just is part of the grip, and a knife that is tomato thin slicey. Just an absolute laser beam. Comes with this fantastic sheath that is an in-pocket dropper. I put it in my pocket, either in my back pocket or in my front pocket, and then I'll let the magnet catch it on the outside of the pocket, which is enough to retain it. And then when I go to pull the knife, I'm always pushing off with my thumb anyway, so this comes in and out of the sheath very well. This is a knife that's made in Italy, so is the sheath, but you can tell that it's made very well. It retains very well, and the shape and design of this knife is done exceptionally well. I'm a huge fan. This is the the Viper Knives Mirror 2. So you got the Viper Knives Mirror 2. You've got the Axial Knives DLC Tanto Alpine. You've got the Boker AK1 Tanto. You have got the Griffin Co Scout 2.5. You have got the T.Kell Agent 002. Any of these knives serve as a wonderful primary EDC fixed blade. You've got the custom Colin Maguire EDW. You've got the Axial Knives Wharncliffe Alpine. You have got the Vosteed $62 mink, or $72 in a sheep's foot. I don't know why it's priced differently with the sheep's foot, but it is. We've got our Boker AK1, kind of our premium Boker AK1. And lastly, certainly not least, we have got our Big Idea Company Lookout. Fantastic knife, just a little banger. And all of these guys are the ones I carry, and a lot of times I carry them as a primary and only carry because they're all I need. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video. I appreciate you hanging out with any of my content. All I ask is please do me a favor. If you're so inclined, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.